Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for TAO price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis and starting here on the 1 hour chart for TAO to see what is going on and what happened lately and what it might happen next. So basically we have a 1, 2 and then 3 wave, 4 of course triangle given, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5 towards the upside, a finished wave A or a wave 1. In this case scenario, of course, therefore, we are looking for a correction after it. Since we have finished 5 waves up, we would like to see, of course, 3 waves down. Now, the first target that you are looking for is a 0.38 fib level in case we are in a wave 2, which is a minimum requirement. Now, if in case we are in something else like a wave B, for example, it can be, of course, something higher than 0.38. It can be the 0.23, but that will unfold, of course, a scenario for a wave C. And that means, of course, that we might be in an A, B, and a C toward the upside, of course, where you might turn into a correction and moving toward the downside one more time again. In this case scenario, wave 2 is much more likely, I would say, and of course looking at the daily, which we're gonna see it after, it is much more likely to have also a wave 2 or a wave B as well, can be even in a bullish scenario, which we also gonna see it in the daily, of course. Now the thing is how this wave B or a wave 2 are unfolding. So as you can see, we took the high exactly here in 5 waves, meaning of course definitely this is kind of like an A, B, and a C. Of course, there are several scenarios here that it might ends up, of course, with those potential counting here. But the first likely one is, of course, most likely one is the A, B, and a C, guys, where you are looking for wave C in an ending diagonal here for tau, where we see 1, 2, and then 3, potentially wave 4 given between the perfect fib levels still, and then having a wave 5 toward the downside. So the perfect fib levels for a wave 4 here are the 400 and the 388 for the perfect level between 0.38 and the 0.5 fib levels. All right, so basically this is the first scenario. The second scenario, of course, it can be something much more deeper, where your A has finished 3 waves over there, your wave B is very sharp, or it can be still finishing a little bit higher, but I believe that it can be finished already here very sharp and fast and moving toward the downside somehow in ending diagonal here, or a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. I believe that, of course, this blue box has to be taken sooner or later, whether with a 0.38 or with a 0.5 or a little bit deeper. It doesn't matter. Basically, this is, of course, all can be in this area a wave 2, whatever it's going to happen here. Even the wave 2 can reach the perfect fib level for a 0.618. However, tau is showing a lot of strength, and I believe it still can move toward the upside from the 0.38. In mentioning that, of course, that on the linear chart, even if you take a look here, you can see that you already reached the 0.38 on the linear. But the structure is not finished yet, and of course it might still be, of course, F4 and F5, which should drive us again, of course, to the logarithmic chart to finish at wave 5, hitting at least the 0.38, and then looking for something towards the upside. Now, if we take a look, of course, on the daily scenario, what it might be, of course, on the daily. So on the daily for tau, it is a little bit, of course, complicated here in this area, but I'm gonna explain what is going on. So basically, we have started with an impulse. So that is a perfect start for tau, where you have an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, where you have finished also potentially wave A or a wave 1. Now, as well, yeah, it is possible even to take it like an A, B, and a C, but this is a very low possibility, of course, as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave C. Your wave A is very shallow, the wave C is huge in regard, or yeah, in comparison with your wave A, right? So basically, I would say that this is much more likely that it is a finished impulse there for wave 1 or a wave A. You are looking here for something corrective, definitely WX and a Y. Now, it was followed directly with an impulse toward the upside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which it might be your wave 1 here. And this, of course, might be the bottom. Now, my problem with this one here is that we didn't took the low, but it was very close, like few cents. So basically, I would say it didn't took the low, and you still can consider this as a wave 1, 2, or an A, B. Yeah, and then you're looking for a wave C towards the upside. However, when you take this much of very low price for a wave 2, the wave 2 as an impulse gets a very low possibility, and the possibilities rise for, of course, a wave 3 in ending diagonal. And here is exactly where it comes the wave B internally, in case we are in A, B, and you are looking for a wave C toward the upside. This is a perfect scenario, of course, to finish an ABC here for wave wave 1. Then getting, of course, a correction, getting another ABC zigzag for a wave 3 in diagonal, another correction, and then, of course, final zigzag toward the upside for a wave 5 here in this diagonal, which it might unfold. Yeah. And basically, this is one scenario that I'm looking for potentially here as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 ending diagonal. But this will open, of course, the scenario of an ABC. Yeah, so ABC meaning zigzag. You started with an impulse, a correction, and then ending simply diagonal for a wave C. And therefore, of course, you might drop 3 waves toward the downside later on. And then continuation for higher, of course. But this is the first scenario where it might reflect, of course, a wave ABC here. And we gotta watch, of course, the wave 3, of course, targets in this case scenario, which are the following. If you have a target here for a wave 3 as a diagonal, you would like to see, of course, 3 as diagonal. Here we go. Yeah, you would like to see at least those green fib levels between 565, 659. Of course, reaching the 1-to-1 fib level is also allowed. Of course, for a wave 3, but not overshooting it. Yeah, and preferably to take the high, taking the 1-to-1 fib level would be much preferable. Yeah, in this case scenario. Now, in case we are in a bullish scenario, I would say that, yeah, it is very possible as well to get into a much higher bullish, but not possible. The possibility is not so strong as for the diagonal guys, again, because of this wave 2. But in case that this is a formation of 1, 2, you're looking for a massive wave 3 toward the upside, and then getting a wave 4 not reaching or interfering with the zone 1. Therefore, you are looking for a wave 5 even to finish a higher wave 3 toward the upside, and then 4 and a 5 continuation impulsively here for TAO. So I would say if we break the 1-to-1 fib level at 785, I would say then therefore we might unfold the wave 3 towards the upside. If we retrace it from there towards the downside, therefore we have to come back to the ending diagonal, of course, as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for TAO. As a bearish scenario, I cannot really say we are in a bearish scenario until, of course, we see a further downside. And, of course, we have to break all those fib levels first, getting the 886 to say we are in a wave Y here as W, X, and a Y, where the wave Y can be a zigzag. Very low possibility. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.